Hey everybody, hello, hello. I hope that you're all doing well. So, today I'll be doing gestures like normal, but the gestures I won't have the reference for in the corner because, yo, what's up, Coop? I won't have the reference up in the left-hand corner like normal just because the stuff that I'm using is going to be copyrighted materials. I cannot share them on the stream or else I will get in trouble. Um, so I know some of you enjoy having those references so you can follow along, but this video will not have that. But you'll still be able to hopefully rewind back and maybe follow along with me and stuff like that. Alright. So I'm just going to get that going. Hope that you're doing well, Coop. Hope that you've had a great day. Alright. I think we can get started. It hasn't rained, so I think it's doing alright. So we'll see. Next time it rains, I'll I'll be able to say something. Yeah, I am sorry about that. Last time I had to end early because of that. Alright, so we're getting started here. It was. Kind of sucked. So these are new references, so it's not going to look quite as good as normal, but one thing I need to do is switch this to hard. But I will still, hopefully it's still helpful for y'all. It's just time for me to move on and start doing new gestures that are a little bit closer to what I might be using in a manga. How's your week been, Coop? Alright. Yep. I think if you really take your time to look at most of the popular YouTube channels that are about drawing and art, typically most of them are the thumbnails and stuff are going to be of women because of that very reason. I think he even like had a post on that one day. Like he created like a post on YouTube about like, hey, I noticed that not many people like, looked at this video or it had lower viewership. And it's one of my first videos without women on the on the thumbnail, and he was like, is that a coincidence? I think not. So, you're gonna notice this, and it's funny that it happened back to back, but some of these poses are going to be the same, except for at a different angle. So this one would probably mean. I actually got 3 back-to-back-to-back poses that were not exactly the same, but very similar, just at different angles. Did that on purpose, though. I'm also gonna do a lot of gesture from imagination today, I think, after I finish up with this. This is what I was attempting to do last time before I, had to go and take care of an emergency at the house, but oof. I also have a decent mixture of both male and female poses in here. So you're going to hopefully see a slight difference in the anatomy and stuff. Maybe not too much because it is just gesture, but just slight, just slight. How do you force DJ to make rap lyrics? I don't know the answer to that. So that gesture just finished, but I would like to try and finish it before I take a break. Okay. It also makes sense why all your references were female. Yeah, because that's what he draws the most of for his channel. He actually does I think he also wanted to make that switch. He did it purposefully because when he was working for Blizzard, he had to do a lot of male characters all the time, and I think he got tired of doing that and felt like he could improve more on his female anatomy, so. Yeah, I don't know the answer, though, to how to force DJ to make rap lyrics. I didn't even know DJ did lyrics. Or wrote, I should say. Also, another difference, too, is I'm actually using references from real people. So it's not like these aren't references from another artist. So that's another slight difference here. Use your therapist skills on him. He doesn't make lyrics. I just need some bars. You don't use therapy to make people do things. It's mean. Let's see here. So this arm back, then up. This arm goes out. And then over. And good enough. Use therapy to have them think they are doing things. What does that mean? I'm not sure what that means. I feel like you're trying to make me be manipulative, Coop. So I might actually be looking for a different reference pack after this stream, because these reference photos are really stiff. All these characters are photos or all these like references, they're just all really like stiff like poses, and I don't like that. Need to find some poses that are not as stiff. How do you know if someone is being manipulative, though? So, that's a difficult question to answer. If you're doing something with the thought process of, I know that if I do this thing, it will, it'll help me get what I want, and you understand that you're doing that, that's manipulation. So for instance, if you're trying to find it in somebody else, you have to think about that piece of like, there's an intention there, like an intentionality that if I do this, I'm going to get what I want, and it's not a need, right? That's how I would say you tell that somebody's being manipulative. And the way that I the reason why I answered it the way that I did is because I don't think you can be manipulative if what you're trying to get is a need. Like, for instance, for children, I don't think it's manipulative for children to do things that try to help them get attention, because I view attention for kids as a need, not like a desire. And also, there's not really an intentionality behind that, right? It's just that they're trying to get something that they need from a parent, for instance. And they also don't wake up in the morning and say, like, hey, I'm going to be manipulative today, and I'm going to try to make my mom or make my dad or whomever feel like an idiot or something like that, right? It's not malintent. That's a big head. Break time. Well, that does make sense. Now, how do I know if someone is victimizing themselves? Victimizing themselves? What do you mean by that? Do you mean like they're like basically trying to make it so that given any circumstance you're the person that's making, like, the villain? I would say if somebody's like gaslighting you consistently, or you try to bring up something that you feel like you are, that they're doing to you that makes you feel bad, and every time you go to bring it up, they just blame you for it. That's them being like, I don't want to say that's manipulative, but that's them trying to make you out to be a villain. Victimizing, as you put it. Yeah, like, but it would have to specifically be like when you're bringing up an issue, right? Um, yeah, like you can't, because then that would be you like victimizing them in a way, or victimizing yourself and trying to villainize them. Yeah, these gestures aren't coming out good, but it's because I don't actually like these poses. I'm gonna have to look for another pose pack. 'Cause these poses kind of suck. Or, instead of doing that, I'll probably surf the internet and start to do some two victimizers meet up. That would not be a situation that they stick around for long. Sounds like a detective movie. Try to figure out who the real victim is. At that point, it's both, right? Both and neither. sure what I was trying to draw there. Yeah, these poses are just not great. Alright, so we get this hip forward, that hip back. Alright, so last one, I think. Oh, my arm's sore. Obviously, I use all of these tricks right now. What do you mean? Oh, for DJ. pose that I was doing the other day. Again. I was actually working my way through that one, so that was pretty good. Alright. So we get this, and then we're gonna get the hips basically square to us. Time to recommend COD characters again. No, okay. You find me with. Oh yeah, you can do over the top characters. I don't care, as long as they are appropriate. I do not mind. I'm gonna make this character's hips just a little bit less wide. Alright, so the punch is being thrown. Let's get this arm going back. Elbow here. Let's get the fist, the other arm here maybe. Nah. I kind of liked how I had the pose where fist was kind of up by the face. Oh, okay. I can do that. I'll do that, yep, before we finish up today. Now that's some beautiful art. Alright, so this I can probably do that with just a bit more. So this leg is actually gonna come this way a bit, and this leg will be probably slightly bent. Probably even open the hips up just a slight bit more. So let me do that. Get here. Alright, so we got that. And then we'll get something like that. Wait a second here. Wait a second. No. No. So I think this knee will be around here. A little lower maybe. So you're throwing a punch, yeah, you'll have one knee bent and then one knee slightly out. And I'm going to pull this all up a little bit. Alright. I think this is coming out alright. I could probably pull this up a little. Or just do what I do and recreate the punch in real life. Yeah. That's always a good method. Could probably do this, and then do this just a bit. Yeah, exactly. And then this can come up a little bit too. And probably pulled back a tad. We'll go here. The legs aren't quite right, but that's okay. That's what you would use reference to check yourself on, right? We got this coming to here, here. Yeah, so also, Mike, when are you starting the new comic? I'm getting there. I've been creating the characters like in my free time and stuff. I think it'll probably be early spring when I start doing that. I've been working on the prep work for it. So I think what I need to do here is take this, shrink this down just a bit, but pull it here maybe. Yeah, especially because this is going to be something that's ongoing. It's not going to be like a one-shot, and I don't want to be struggling to like create characters while I'm trying to just like make my story, you know? Alright, I'm still not quite happy with that one, but we'll move on. It's not horrible. Let's do a... I'm going to do maybe 3 more, and then we'll get started with Vinland Saga character request. Hey, we got 7 likes. Can we get up to 10? Can we get up to 10? Let me think here. What is a good... Ooh, I got a good pose. I'm kind of doing the same thing, but not really writing any plot. Yep. Alright, let's see what we got here. So we'll take this in here. Let me get this off my screen up here because it's starting to bother me a little bit. Sorry. Mouse, are you gonna work or? Thank you. All right. So this is a more static pose, but if done correctly, it'll have some decent foreshortening. Alright, so I want you to be that. So let's pull this up just a touch. Cooper, are you still working on the, what was it? You were doing like an abridged thing, or are you doing stick people again? What's going on there? Alright, so I want one arm to be going back. And one arm to be coming forward like this. Guess I could probably pull this down just a touch. A bridge series is in the limelight. The stick people are waiting for me to return to them once more, but okay, alright. Fair enough, fair enough. It came out about how I wanted it to. Again, not a super dynamic pose by any means, but definitely not horrible. Alright, let's get a good, like, twisting pose. Finish the B-Day present before I make a series again, although one of them is going to be quite short. That's alright. Doesn't matter how long it is. Let me think here. What's another good pose? Oh boy. Ooh. What do I do? Yeah, let me try to do an ant's eye view pose, and then a bird's eye view pose, and then I'll do the request. So, all right. One shot stretched out into 10 chapters. That's a. It's not. Yeah, it's not a one shot anymore. That's a. It's a full-fledged, ongoing manga almost. All right, so I don't do many of these, so I'm curious as to how this is gonna come out. I'll just do a regular standing pose because a 10 shot, huh? I think it's dynamic enough, just the camera angle. Alright, let me... Alright, so the key to doing these kinds of camera angles as well is making sure that you really think about the foreshortening and the perspective. So what is going to be blocked and what's going to be present. I think that I have probably like a little bit too much chest and things like that. Like I can probably make this a little smaller. And even the head. I can probably make the head smaller. Not going to see much of the neck from this angle. And then the legs are going to appear much longer and larger than typical. And this is how I'm like trying to view it, just so you're, jeez, dude, just so you're aware. I'm trying to view everything like with this kind of cross sections and stuff. Could probably push it even a little further. Something like that. And then the knee. And then when you get angles like this too, you're gonna look at it and be like, why is one arm so short and one arm so long? Well, it's because one arm's up in the air and the other arm's coming down towards us, going into the perspective angle, into the camera. 'Cause like, the elbow is gonna hit right about, anywhere between the bottom of the rib cage and where the belly button is where your elbow should typically land. The hand is going to land like, at about mid-thigh typically for people. And let's do... And I'll probably cut it off here, actually, right at the knee. I mean, I could keep going and have like a situation where you're seeing like the bottom of the foot, but there's not. Why would the camera be below the ground? I mean, that's not too bad, but... Yeah. My brain can't really imagine that, so we'll leave it at that. It's not horrible. Could have been better. I'm better at these views. I was just practicing this one last night, actually. Then I'll get into the requests. Sorry. Hopefully you're still here, Gubs, and being patient. I appreciate it. Awesome. Actually, you know what? Instead of totally deleting the head, I'll just shrink it down just a little. The only thing that I'm gonna quickly change here is just the overall lean of the legs here, or at least of the hips, because I'm gonna take these legs now and just move them, rotate them forward just slightly. What I'm trying to get is this curve right here and that one right here, so I think that's probably about where I would end that one. I could probably also have him looking up at us. Okay. Yeah, some pretty good gestures from imagination. Alright, let's go to the request and then we'll wrap up for today. Give me 1 second. Ooh. Excuse me. Interesting character. Alright. Let's go manga. Alright, I'll start with this. Let's go right here. Seems like I got a lot of space here. Actually, let me see something. Do I do this or a 3/4? There's not very many 3/4 views on here. Interesting. Oh, guess we'll do pretty much a front-facing view. Alrighty, so as always, you start off with your guidelines and stuff. This character's face, the style of this art is really realistic. I mean, not to say that there isn't some stylization here, but it's a pretty realistic style, so it's actually going to make it a little easier as far as trying to reproduce it, because I'm not going to have to stray too much from this particular guide. Alright. Me. Get the eye sockets in. Actually, it probably comes in a little further. Comes here. Alright, so the reason why I like to draw the eye sockets, by the way, is because then it gives you like your overall curvature of the eyebrow. Because that always kind of trips me up, is like, oh, why can't I draw these eyebrows? Why can't I draw these eyebrows consistently? And that's typically why. I'll manage to get something out of them, Mike. Nice, nice, good job. Sounds like I'm interrogating him. It does. This can be pulled down just a bit. No, it's not looking like much yet, but it'll get there. I'm gonna actually take these eyes. I think the shape is fine, but the length of them, pull it out just a bit. Transform, free transform. Alright. So he has this like crazy like brow ridge right here that I'm gonna try to mimic a little bit. Yeah, he really does. time for these caterpillars he has up here. Let's see here. All right. All right. I think the only thing I'm gonna do here is take his head and I'm gonna pinch the top just a bit. Yeah. Yeah, everything is alright. Just gotta wait to see during the next rainstorm what's gonna happen. I think we're supposed to get rain on Thanksgiving Day, so. And yes, I am doing well, Mike. I appreciate you asking. Well, I think I should have fixed it, but we'll see. They do come in handy. You are correct. Luckily, it wasn't that bad of a leak. It was just concerning, nonetheless. But there's like a few spots in my roof because I went up in the attic while it was still raining and check it out. But there's still a couple like little spots, or there were only a couple little spots that were pretty rough. So I think hopefully I went and I used some Shiny. How's it going? Thank you for joining. But yeah, I just hopped on the roof and hopefully clogged up some of them holes up there, so hopefully during the next rain it won't be too bad. His name is Askeladd. I probably just butchered that, but it's from the Vinland Saga manga. Shiny asks, using shape and form as a guideline, it'll help you draw bodies. Yes, it will. So that's what I do. Like, these are from imagination, but I'm just using shape and thinking about form as I do it. Like this one, the ant's eye view, probably need to work on doing these a little bit more, but like this one's not too bad. This one's fine, and this one's fine. But yeah, and Shiny, I would say doing stuff like this every day. So using references and doing these kinds of drawings will help with reference. And you don't want to give yourself too much time. You just, a couple of minutes and do as much as you can and move on to the next one is what I would recommend to help you draw bodies. Nice. Glad you enjoyed Vinland Saga. I haven't watched it before, so I'm gonna have to check it out. The art's beautiful, but yeah, I haven't really checked it out yet. You suck at drawing shapes like cubes. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be a perfect cube, but you just want to be able to practice, like, being able to draw something that looks pretty cube-ish, right? You can look online for like cubes at different angles and stuff like that, and references will come up. Always use reference when you're learning stuff. It took me a long time to be able to draw something that I thought was a good enough cube. Like I have sketchbooks just filled with cubes. Cuboid is better. Do you mean like Mike? Do you mean like starting? Do you mean starting as far as doing imaginative stuff with um, cube body parts? Like for instance, let me quickly do this. Oh, like a rectangular prism? Yeah. Oh, I see. I've never heard it called that before. I call it like I've always just called it a rectangular prism, but cool, cool. But yeah, if you can do stuff like this to draw bodies, like actually, you know what? Let me give this a different angle. Oops. Yep, those are great like starting points for people. You can get that stuff down, you'll be good to go. You don't like that course? I mean, it just depends, right? It depends on what you like and what you don't like, but I do think for fundamentals, those kinds of courses are good. I would just recommend, like, I like Mark's stuff because, it's hard to be disciplined enough to just work on cubes and stuff of that nature. It is. A lot of people seem to drop drawing 100% after starting it. It makes more sense to me to start with figure and learn from there if you want to draw a person more fun that way. Yeah, I agree completely. Um, I I also tried Drawbox. Again, I think that if you have the discipline, it's great, but it's hard to just draw that kind of stuff like time after time again. I don't really get that. I think people are a lot of the times opposed to digital work because you can do stuff like I did with the face over here where I stretched and stuff, but I don't know, it's not like I couldn't draw it that way if I wanted to. I just don't want to spend an hour and a half drawing it again. But yeah, doing stuff like this is helpful. But I like to, like Mike's talking about, I like to be practical and draw like actual figures and stuff. But I mean, the way that I think about this is I am thinking about all the different shapes and how they align with one another and stuff like that. But it's just different because I'm actually, I'm composing a body right now. Savage King, what's going on? Hey, we got to 10 likes. Quick celebration. Thanks everybody for the 10 likes. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's get this in. Yeah, let's get some party poppers in the chat. I like that, Coop. Also, Gubs, how do you like the drawing? Hopefully it came out alright. It's my first time drawing a character from Vinland Saga, so very complex style to try to replicate. What term am I in? Let me think. Am I in 6 or 7? Give me 1 second, I'll tell you. I am currently on term 7 in the art school program. Ah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I'm thinking of trying out Mark Renee's course. I mean, I would highly recommend it. I think it's great, but you can also, I don't know if you came here because of the video that I just recently put out about it, but I would recommend it. Watch that video if you have any questions about it. I have another video even when I first started it. I think it's great. I'm gonna draw just like a couple more things and then I'll probably jump off for the night. But let me do a crouching pose really fast. I don't know why I did it started it that way. I wanted to do my favorite crouching pose. I'm on term 5 in the storytelling class. Really is changing my art for the better. Yeah, that's a good one. Like let me see which one that is. Oh, I think the composition in storytelling, I don't know if that's the one you're talking about. That's actually term 6. But that's a good one. I agree with you. It was a very informative course. If I could talk. Alright, Shiny. Have a good one. Appreciate you dropping by, Shiny. Alright. What else? What else? Let's try... Ooh, yeah. Let me try this kicking pose again. I did it a while back. Tried to do it from imagination, but it did not go well. This box is bothering me. There it goes. Yeah, let's try this kicking pose again. Alright, so... Alright, so this one is going this way, but... And then... this one is... I think, Savage King, I think probably the course that I find the best from Mark Brunet, so far at least, is both... I really like both the personal project course and the character design course. Those two are my favorites so far. I'm not even done with the personal project one yet though, so I need to finish that up. And then a sneaky good one is actually the enhanced learning course. It's a very good course. This I can't remember what this arm is doing in this pose. I think this arm is just here and then man, the flexibility, yeah. You have to be very flexible for this kick. Yeah, I learned a lot from the character design course. Yep, very good one. I think this arm, I think she just has this arm kind of. And it's crazy because people can kick like this too. Like this isn't like beyond the scope of what a human can do. Which is crazy to me, because I try to do a kick like this, I'd break myself. Probably end up in a hospital. I feel like her foot, this leg, I feel like the lower leg actually comes up in this pose. Like, I feel like yeah, this is actually correct. And then see the heel, and then the toes are like this. Yeah. What nights do I typically stream Tuesdays and Thursdays unless something happens. Like sometimes I get I get headaches and stuff like that because I got a full-time job still that's not art related. But yep, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Pull a hamstring at least. Yeah, something. I'm actually really happy with some of these poses from Imagination. They came out pretty good. Like, I definitely need to work on the ant's eye view stuff, but the bird's eye view stuff isn't too bad. And then my regular poses, just with like the horizon line being like here-ish, are all pretty decent too. Pretty proud of that. Alright, one last thing, because that would put me at what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we gotta end on 8. One last pose from Imagination, and then we'll wrap things up for tonight. What's a good one? Ooh, yep. It's been a really long time since I've drawn this pose, so very interested to see how it's gonna come out. I'm gonna move this stuff over a bit. What's my ratio of Imagination to reference? What's up?
Hi. I just want to say hi.
E. I'm just drawing this last thing and then I'll be done.
Cool.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Thanks. Yeah, I did all these from Imagination today. And then I did all this earlier with reference. Yeah.
Cool.
Got a lot of work done.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just keep that.
You go. I'll see you in a bit. What do you mean by that, Mike? Do you mean like how much of my work am I don't know if you mean like how often do I practice with Imagination versus reference, or how much of my actual drawings that I create are like how much of that ratio is Imagination to reference? Because I think that's two different answers for me, actually. So if I'm practicing to learn, I always go from reference, so 100% of the time. If I'm practicing, like right now, the reason why I'm trying to transition to doing more practice from Imagination, so is because I want to, obviously with manga, like it would take me forever to find reference for every single thing that I'm going to draw. So yeah, if I had to, I would say I probably practice for every 5 poses that I do from reference, I probably do 1 from Imagination. And it's interesting too because I wouldn't say that most of my poses are actually from imagination, they're from memory. Which is a little different. Not much different, but a little bit. But anytime I have like a question about something, if I'm like not sure, then I either stop if I'm doing imagination and don't feel like looking up a reference, or I will ensure that I look up the reference to help. Like right now, for instance, even if this pose, how long did it take you to become comfortable drawing from memory? To be honest with you, it's probably just starting to get really comfortable for me the past month. And I've been doing gesture drawings at least, it's like basically an hour or more per week for a year. I probably could have tried a little earlier, but Mark actually was the one that was like, I think you need to start doing this because your gestures have gotten to the point where it's not really that challenging for you anymore, which, fair. But he was like, I think you should try and see how it goes. So, and I did it, and he couldn't really tell like which ones were from imagination versus which ones were from reference. So, which is a good sign. So, I would say at least a year. But also depends on how much you practice and how much time you have for it. And how like confident you are, because I'm not like the most confident artist in the world, I would say. Didn't really answer your question. I answered it as if you asked me how long should I work on this before I use imagination, and that's not what you asked. A year. This isn't quite right, but it's a quick fix. I really don't remember what's happening with this back shoulder. What is he doing with this arm right here? Oh, he had it actually going back in space and then coming up, I think. So I'm just kind of doing a quick rough layout. I think this is good practice too, of where the muscle groups are from what I can remember and recall in this particular pose. Because this is like the next step that I would take to finalize this particular character if I was to draw it. So one thing I'm noticing is that I don't think the head is in a good position right here. I think it needs to be like here. because there would still be like at least a little bit of space right here between the neck and then the torso. And I didn't really leave enough room for that. Sup, Coop? Stalking everyone. Okay, Coop. Let me think. If the arm is back like this, yeah, the bicep is gonna poke its head out right in here. And then the tricep will be underneath. And then you'll get the, whatchamacallit here, forearm group. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. This is a good amount of work tonight, so proud of it. I'm gonna wrap up here. I do appreciate all of you joining and commenting and keeping me company as I practice and get a little better. Yeah, at some point I'll be at a good spot where I'm happy with my art and I'm able to start doing a manga and know that I'll improve, but it's at a good enough space for me to post it and not be self-conscious and all that good stuff. But I appreciate all of y'all. Y'all have definitely helped out with that process too. I will be back next week. I'll have a video coming out this weekend. I'm not sure exactly what that video will be yet. Maybe like another gesture drawing video of some sort. And yeah, I will see y'all in the next live stream. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and I hope you have a great weekend. And if I don't see you and you celebrate it, have a great Thanksgiving. All right, see you later, everyone.